Ladies, I'm just going to forewarn you. I had a cocktail.
Hey, that's all right.
That is A-okay.
I might be having one as I talk.
Hey, that's good.
That is A-okay as well.
Yes.
Do you want to start?
Let's start this. You guys know the drill.
You guys know, yeah.
Yes.
You know what this is all about.
Jackie, you can sing.
Come again?
Jackie
So
could do her song live.
She could.
Oh my God, that's great. Just give
my gosh. I don't have the music though.
Go for it.
Oh, you guys could do the backbeat.
I don't know that I could do that.
Nope.
Wait, hold on. Let me flip my hat back. Maybe
that was
I can
bad.
Get some rhythm, Ben.
We need somebody to be like boom, 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 and then somebody be like.
You do that part.
I can't. I'd never. I'd be like looking like a fool.
Oh God! Wait, do you really want me to do it? Friends forever. That's what we are. Through the thick and the thin, we're friendship stars. We're banging million buddies from the days of old. We laugh, crying, hug, friendship colors. Solid gold. My song code whatever started a year ago. We share our stories, and your stories were told. 80s, 90s memories that give us glee, and on the block party shows and
NKOTB.
Now our friendship circle has grown by far. Hashtag friends forever. That's what we all are. Boom.
Boom.
And if you don't know, now you know. My
so-called whatever for life.
See, this is all ad-lib.
Hashtag friends forever.
Wait. Hashtag MSCW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you.
Yeah.
That was great.
All right.
All right.
Amazing.
Let's intro.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Brooke.
And this is Nikki.
This is Jackie, aka Brown Sugar Honey.
Oh yeah. And this is Maria.
Yay!
And this is my so-called whatever.
And Green goes with us.
Welcome to the block party.
We ain't leaving out nobody. Hey.
Welcome, friends.
Welcome, friends.
We've been drinking.
Who's been drinking?
Got 2 bottles.
So we're very, very happy to have Jackie and Maria on.
Yes.
To talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's specific stuff.
Yeah. Very specific stuff.
Oh.
Lots of goings
New kids on the block stuff.
New kids on the block.
Let's rock every time.
So, let's get right in.
Let's do it.
Get right into it?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
This episode is brought to you by Jackie and Maria.
Perfect! This episode is brought to you by Jackie and Maria.
Yay!
All right.
So let's get right into this. You guys have some really awesome stories about going to New York. You guys live in New York and going to all the goings on that happened between Thursday and Friday. It was like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah, last week.
It was what, the 7th and the 8th?
Yeah.
It was Thursday and Friday, and I feel like this, these are the times when you get to cash in on living in New York City.
Yeah.
And I love when New Kids on the Block have a press day in New York City. Because if I'm free, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
We made it happen.
You really did make it happen.
You made it happen.
I couldn't keep up.
Jackie literally made it happen because she was the one that is subscribed and she is vigilant about all of these. People wonder how did she get in? How did you get in there and whatnot? To like these shows, and Jackie is on it. She gets these emails. She checks her emails. And she subscribes and she is like, hey, go into this like, was it One Iota, and go here and go there. And so because of her and her, like, maybe when they said that they were going to do a release like on the anniversary, it was like a little red light turned on for her. And it was like, I'm watching all of these New York City events just in case new kids decide to like do any interviews on the date of the release of their anniversary.
Yes.
And it paid out. It paid out. I mean, it took a lot of work on her behalf.
Yes.
She has patience because she has to deal with me, and then she had to inform other people. It's like I feel like Jackie would be the best kindergarten teacher ever.
Never, never, never.
But
Never.
yeah,
Unless that child has a mature soul, they will hate me. I assure you. Most adults don't appreciate me. So
oh my God, no, that's
we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you do. I know you do.
But because of Jackie, I was able to, and I think a lot of other people were able to be aware and of free stuff.
Yeah. Well, we love free stuff. And that's the great thing about publicity, or like when people are launching a book, a video, an album, a movie, because they do have to do the interview circuit. And if they're coming to New York, which most likely they are, unless they're doing it on the LA side, there are certain shows they're going to hit. And if you're vigilant and you check and you kind of go off of your hunches, then you get lucky the way we did on Thursday and Friday. We didn't know. We didn't quite know. I think there was something on one of the New Kids pages that hinted at them coming to New York around the 8th. And I think from there it was all hunches and luck. But, I'm not mad at Lady Luck. She's been real good to me. So
how many like things did I sign up for that I didn't actually go because it was like they could be at this interview because the description was like pop culture. I'm like, yes, that's them.
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of things that I supposedly got tickets to that, obviously the New Kids didn't go, so I just did not attend.
Right. Or we just rejected the ticket eventually. It was like they're either going to be on the Today Show or GMA.
They can't be on both.
They can't be on both. So, with GMA, you can always just sign up and say, I'm going to be at the Plaza, but it's not like a guaranteed ticket. It's like you line up and it's general admission. But then there's times where they do have artists, which is usually in the summer because it's cold as hell in the winter, where they'll have fan passes. And that happened with the New Kids before, where they have fan passes. And that just really just allows you to enter the Plaza earlier than the general admission people. So I was really clocking the Today Show, and I get emails from them from going to past events. And eventually, you got the email too, Maria. And eventually it said that Maren Morris, I think she's a country artist, but she's also done a lot of like she sings, "Baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle?"
Yes.
So she was going to be there on the 8th. So I'm like, okay, New Kids on the Block are definitely not going to be on Today's Show. It has to be GMA if they're doing something in New York, which ideally they should be because of Donnie's schedule and Joe being here.
Mm-hmm. Look at that strategy skills. Look at that.
Yeah. So yeah, we applied for GMA. We had already applied for GMA, and then like 2 days later, or like a few days later, they announced they're going to be on GMA. So by then, I had already been on waitlisted, because it was even already waitlisted before they even announced it. And out of the friends group,
somebody knows even more information before Jackie.
No, you know what? No, I think they just had limited tickets, because in the audience, which we'll get to, there was like a whole school group that took up, I don't know, 25, 30 seats.
Wow.
Which,
wow.
Yeah, which, side eye, you're like, how many people really want to be in the studio, and you don't even know who niggas on the block are?
You better learn. You better learn.
Yeah, and they
you
were
better
like
be
high
dancing.
School.
You better be dancing.
You best.
And I never even learned the story behind them, actually. But yeah, it was luck. It was luck. And then we applied to Kelly and Ryan too, and their morning show was full already, which is normally is. I mean, just regular fans love that show. And then all of a sudden a second show popped up, and I'm like, apply. It has to, because the New Kids can't do 2 days.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, the
You
new
should have
kids
seen
can't
those
do.
text messages between Jackie and I think Jenny, who knew who had gone through this a couple of weeks or months ago, not too long ago, a month ago, January, over Backstreet Boys, because Backstreet Boys did their circuit for their new album, DNA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So they did this whole run around. So they were like a little bit more knowledgeable this time around. Not that they aren't, but I'm just saying, like, when they were talking, they wouldn't have to like really say the full sentences or type the whole text because they knew what they were talking about. And it was literally like reading German. I was like, I don't know what this is. It was like reading the back of a shampoo bottle. Like you can, you can.
I mean, I guess
you don't know what they're talking about.
All this to say that it's not that easy, and it does take some dedication and perseverance, but also luck. For us to end up with tickets to not only Kelly and Ryan, where they pre-recorded a show for Friday, but then I also ended up with tickets to GMA on Friday prior to them announcing they were coming, which was great. So
the AOL build.
And then I was like, sometimes they do AOL build. I'll keep an eye out. And it seemed like they weren't going to be on that. And then literally like last minute, it popped up. And they must have known that it was going to go down with New Kids, because prior appearances, they never had like an on sale time for tickets. And even though the tickets are free, when they know a big artist is coming through, they'll be like, okay, we're releasing the tickets at this time on this date. Ooh. And that's never happened for New Kids, but this time around that happened. So they must have known it was going to be crazy.
I didn't even know about AOL build.
Me either.
I'm going to be honest. Like,
I was like, what is this build thing?
Yeah, I didn't even.
Oh my God.
It's by AOL.
Yeah, I mean, I still have an AOL account.
Hey, me too.
Me too.
Hey, it's okay. Me too.
Okay. I'm like, that's how people can find me. But none of my New Kids stuff goes to that account because I always get it like 2 or 3 days later. I used to be so annoyed when Cruise emails would come in like 2 days after other people received it. I'm like, this is BS. So
why? Because AOL?
Get on it, AOL.
It's something about AOL and the securities that block certain emails. And even Block Nation was like, yo, if you have AOL, Yahoo, or whatever, you need to switch if you want to get our emails. Yeah, they're like, you need to switch if you want to get our emails. Yeah. So I did that a while back. But yeah, AOL Build is like, they do like half an hour shows, and they have all these great artists that come through. And usually if people are doing publicity, they do go through there. And the studios are like all glass, so you can watch the interview from the outside, but it's a very intimate setting. Yeah. I mean, I would say no more than 50 people, maybe.
That's cool. I saw really that cool. Was like, I saw you guys like.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? I haven't watched it back yet. It's been such a whirlwind.
I was like, there's Jackie again.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jackie was everywhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Brown sugar.
Apparently the Backstreet Boys interview played again like this week. So then people were like, you're on GMA again? I'm like, yo, that's an old interview, all right? So like, chill out. Anyway. Yeah, that was luck. That was just luck.
So that's how, I was telling, I was talking to Jenny, because another thing what happened is that you really do have to wake up at the butt crack of dawn and go there and and wait in line. And unfortunately, because it's winter, it was freaking cold. And I was talking to Jenny about it, and I was like, well, this is how people get in. It's the Breakfast Club. I don't know. You get up and you wake up over there, and you have to stand online, and you have to put in your work. I mean, it's free, but there's work to be done, and there's sacrifices to get done.
Because tickets don't guarantee entry. You do have to. Yeah, I mean, like with 1 iota, there's like general admission, and then sometimes they bump people up to priority, which means you get in the line ahead of ahead of general admission. And for some strange reason, my tickets went from general admission to priority. Ooh. Maybe because of me like using them a lot and them knowing that I will show up because, they do attendance. Mm-hmm. But that's what happened with Kelly and Ryan for all of our tickets. And then with GMA, I got bumped to priority, and I arrived early enough where I was the first person in priority.
Wow.
But
We're talking
okay,
about 5 a.m, people.
yes, 5 a.m, 17 degrees.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a killer.
It didn't feel that cold though, honestly.
Because you were delirious at that point.
You probably because I should have what I should have done is gone home after Kelly and Ryan, but I was out gallivanting the city with Maria and Jenny. So yeah, so we should talk about that because
Oh my God.
for Kelly and Ryan, we were like, we want something to kind of celebrate the fact that they're, releasing an album, a song, and we knew that the song was going to be Boys in the Band. So, lately my thing has been like, I need to make a T-shirt. I need to, make something. New Kids really brings out the creativity in me. And I kind of said, oh, what about this? And it's apparently not an original idea because it's apparently all over.
But listen, we were the first ones wearing it.
I don't know if we were the first ones wearing it, but
I'm gonna say
we might be the first ones on national TV with it.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah.
Yes, and we had someone who helped us out quite a bit because I don't have a pre-cut. Should I mention her name or?
And it was like overnighted or something. It was.
Hey,
yeah,
it was special.
I don't mess around.
Yes, thank you, Nikki.
Thank you so much.
I had so much fun doing it. I was like, "Ooh, I have another exciting project to do." Yeah.
Another project.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love it.
And it came out beautiful. It did. I love it. I'm gonna be rocking it. I'm like, winter, you could stay around for a few more months because I got a sweater to wear.
I want to wear it for like a concert.
Yeah, mine is on a sweater, but I can definitely get it again and put it on a T-shirt.
I can always cut it again and put it on a T-shirt.
Listen, I'm known for my facial expressions. And while we were waiting online for the signing, we need to get to the story, Maria. We're going off track here. While we were waiting for on the line to get bracelets, I guess I must have given someone a look of like, what you talking about, Willis? And someone caught it in the background in their picture.
Oh. Can I share it with them?
Yeah, well, I think they saw it, but apparently I'm giving a Jackie look. So I thought it was pretty funny. So I like blacked out everything and I just said, okay, now we have a meme ready photo to go.
Oh, yes.
Well, you can write whatever you want to.
I love it.
The thing is, someone I just met walked over and was like, "Oh, you must not care for her too much." And I was just like, "Oh no, was my face showing it?" Ooh, yikes!
Uh-oh.
You were cold.
Yeah.
You were sleep deprived.
I was sleep deprived. Yeah. So Kelly and Michael gallivanted with Maria the night before, making our shirts and sweaters. I probably got the most sleep that night. Yeah, because I went over.
You got to my place on Wednesday
night.
Yeah.
I did her iron on for her because she can't be trusted.
I'm domestically challenged, so no. Irons. I try to iron on the whatchamacallit. You remember the GPS jacket I had for New York, and it had like the skyline in the back.
Yeah.
Well, Jackie had. Yeah, I don't know what I did. I think I cut out the silver thingy on this black jacket, and I was supposed to iron it on, and you were supposed to see the silver skyscraper, and I burned it. You can even see the iron on the black. That's how bad I burned it.
Oh. Was this after or before I had put the skyline on there?
No, this was before. That's why I was like, Jackie, I burned it, and I showed it, and I sent you pictures, and you were like, oh.
Bring it here. Bring it to my house. Let's fix this. Fix this. We had to remix this. Anyway, that's a little stingy reference.
Yeah.
So So
Wait, what did she say?
I don't know.
I thought she said
Something inappropriate.
yes.
Guess you'll hear it in the editing room.
apparently she's not bleeped in this, but Jordan is in this recent song. Yeah, so we wake up in the morning. We're rendezvousing with Jenny and Rod. They're like our Get Fresh crew. We love them.
Yeah, they were the first ones online. First.
Wow.
Well, Kelly and Ryan were recording 2 shows that day. So my suggestion was to get there like right when the line is about to be checked in, because then we'll know we'll be first, and then hopefully we can get to pick our seats. Although a lot of times with studio audiences, there is someone who says like, no, I'm going to seat you here and here, because they're checking you out and they want to know who's going to look good on camera. So
yeah,
right.
Eartha Kitt 2.0, much props.
Yeah, we love her. She's like their audience, I don't know, control person or something, but she looks like Eartha Kitt. She's got a lot of style.
And
we
sass.
like her.
And
sass.
she has this attitude like I know I'm cool. I don't need, validation. But she's so cool.
No,
Have you ever
she's
met someone like that?
Like
yeah,
a very
you guys.
cool. well, she's a very cool, stylish, mature woman. Like she might be in her 60s. I hope I'm not.
I don't think you're too wrong about that, but she
might be in her 60s, but yeah, I'm just like, I want to be like you, like now.
She must be like on her feet all day long, and she was rocking these stilettos, like
yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And she was not walking like her feet hurt. She was just like, yep, I am a model.
And this is in a show where they have cameras and wires all over. She was like pop, 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 pop,
pop, pop, pop.
Wow.
So yes, we were the first, but unfortunately, a lot of times with these shows, it's the ticket people versus the security people. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times the security people don't know nothing. So they were like, stand in this line. And we're like, we don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. And if you guys could see me right now, I'm pointing out into the air. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. So we all kind of split up and said, and we spoke to the people in line. We're like, look, they don't know what they're talking about. We're going to stand here just in case it's priority. And then once they decide what they're doing, then we'll switch over. And everybody was cool with that because, people arrived in order.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't arrive in order.
No, no comment.
I was late. But I was still earlier than I thought I was going to be. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was late.
Mm-hmm.
And I got sick. I couldn't stop sneezing for the whole time we were waiting.
That is true. But we were first and we were excited and we were showing off our Boys in the Band shirts and people were like, where'd you get them? We're like, we made it.
We were making sure that the staff saw our shirts.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
And one guy, he's like the crowd warm up person for outside, not inside. He was like, oh, I was just in the dressing room and they have Rod had his cool New Kids on the Block shoes, sneakers,
cool.
that he won through an auction, a raffle, and he was like, oh, I saw they have all these different outfits laid out and I just saw those sneakers downstairs. So that,
so cool.
So we were getting an idea of what they might wear, from this guy indirectly. He didn't know he was spilling the beans.
Yeah, because he said something about Luke Perry shirt, and then they had some. He also mentioned some boy band shirts, and we were
right. And I was like, I hope he doesn't wear a Luke Perry shirt because that would make me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they let us in, and we there were some VIP people there who were in the studio already. Maybe 2 or 3 people. Not that many, not compared to GMA. And we automatically went towards what's usually the stage for Kelly and Ryan. And I think in our excitement, we weren't being what's the word I'm looking for?
Camera
okay. So that was difficult. Because Eartha Kitt 2.0 was telling us she saw our shirts. So she was and we were the first 4 people there. first 4 people online, and
Yeah.
she was like, okay, you guys sit right here, and she was trying to put us in like the center, the second row, but the center. So
Right.
we were like, no, can we go over there?
Yeah, we want to be
But
we want to be near the boys in the band. We want to be able to like sing and
Like a
dance with them.
band.
Right.
Yeah. Because
Um,
I remember when I went previously with to go see Jordan, Nick and Knight,
Mm-hmm.
and the same thing happened, and the lady put us like seat number 1 and seat number 2, and that's where they performed. So because there's like the stage where they have like the interviews, and but then to the right of the stage, they have where the person dances. If you watch the show, there's always some like a member like of the studio audience just dancing, and then there's like the band section, and that's where usually the performers perform. So that's why we were like, okay, let's go over there. They're gonna perform. They're gonna sing the song. They're gonna perform right there. But that did not happen.
no, I think at some point we either heard someone or we were like, wait a minute, they're gonna perform here. And where we were seated, during the interviews, there were cameras obstructing our view. But it worked out beautifully when they actually performed the song because the cameras were not obstructing us at all. Like, security might have to run real fast to catch me because I could get to all the new kids faster than they could. So,
but I think it was
beautiful.
2.0. Every time that she would like pass by,
she kept
look at us and she'd be like, "Man,
you guys should be sitting over there."
We were like, "What? Oh, okay, I get it." But it worked out fine. I mean,
it worked out fine.
The first 3 people, and Rod was right behind the second row, right behind us. So it was perfect. It was like
7 of us, but the area where we said we wanted to go to, there was only 6 seats. So Rod ended up going in the row behind. He was a sacrificial lamb.
Gentleman, like he is.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yes, he is.
Gentleman.
I saw the screenshot of him clapping. Very gentleman-like.
Yeah. So the interview was great.
Tommy came out and he looked at Rod. He's like, "Hi, Rod."
Hi, Rod.
And he's so cool.
Yeah. Like during the break, he was like, "Hi, Rod." He was looking at people in the audience and acknowledging them. But Rod, he called out by name. He loves him. They love each other. They got a bromance going.
Bromance.
Absolutely.
Now, real quick, was this Thursday?
Eartha Kitt 2.0.
This is Thursday. This is Thursday morning. Yeah. Okay. So they pre-recorded for Friday, which is what our hunch was. Because I'm like, they can't be on GMA and Kelly and Ryan at the same time. It's the same network, but the studios are very far apart from each other, and the time just it wouldn't work. So just little things you learn from going to TV shows. Because I'm a professional fangirl, not just for New Kids, but for other artists as well. So
I love it. You guys are learning the real deal here today.
Yeah. So and during the song we were like pointing to our shirts with the boys in the band. We like the boys in the band. So that was cool.
And they actually put the cameras on us after the show ended.
Yeah, that I'm telling you, Eartha Kitt was pissed. She wanted a screenshot of those shirts, and
she kept passing by and just like looking at us and shaking,
and then sucking her teeth like, "Gah." And Kelly and Ryan noticed the shirts, and they started talking to Rod and all of us about them, and they even called the guys over, like, "Did you see their shirts? This is so cool."
Are you serious?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it was all generated by Eartha Kitt 2.0 because Eartha Kitt told Kelly, and Kelly was like, "Oh," and then Kelly told the guys. So it was all generated by Eartha Kitt 2.0.
Yeah, we love her. We love Eartha Kitt 2.0. She's a bomb. She noticed and then made sure everybody else noticed. And then even after the show ended, she said, "Sit right here. We just want to get a shot of you guys, just wave to the camera." And they basically embedded it into the middle of their interview.
Oh, so that was
after.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
She wanted those damn shirts in the show. And thank you. She did.
I love it so much.
Well,
Yeah.
they needed to be in the show.
And you were
That was
on like the
perfect.
clips, like when they'd release the clips,
Yes.
like the small clips. You guys were on those clips too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh. Oh, okay. That's
that's
nice.
because I haven't seen the episode yet,
Oh, okay.
but I've seen all.
Cool.
You were in 2 different clips.
Yeah, like promos.
There was
Awesome.
like different stuff, but there you were, and I was like, oh,
Hey,
I hit it both times.
those are my friends.
That's what I said. I know them.
Those are my friends.
I'm sitting here looking at my so-called whatever magnet right now, and I'm like, oh my God, my sweater was my so-called whatever colors.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it.
It was.
Yeah. Wow.
So cool.
Okay, that's probably why I loved it so much.
Oh,
Aw.
So yeah. Anything else I missed with Kelly and Ryan? I keep on calling it Kelly and Regis and Michael and
Sure,
poor
your age.
baby. I'm showing my age. Yeah, I
so
guess
did you guys get a chance? You said, did you get a chance to talk to the guys?
Not
No.
really. No.
They
I mean,
saw
it's-
us.
they saw us, and there was a lot of like conversing happening in between the shots with
Mhm.
Kelly and Ryan. Like, I'm not sure what they were
wait a
talking
minute.
about.
Hold on.
And
Interruption. So right before they performed the song, because it was like an interview, and then they were going to perform the song, in between like commercial break, Donnie goes, "You guys were in the video. Which
oh yeah,
choreo do you want to see? The old one or the new version?"
and we were like, the video version, the video version. He already knew what they were gonna do. He knew what they were gonna do already.
Yeah, I don't know why he would ask, but that was very nice of him.
Because he knows that hypes us up. Everybody was hyped. They're like, the video. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he did.
You know what you
exactly
did.
what he's doing.
Mhm.
You know what you did, Donnie Walker.
And I like it a lot.
That's a lot.
I like it a lot.
And for my Jordan girls, yes.
And you know, I tried to keep my eyes off Maria, but I'm pretty sure she was blowing kisses at Jordan and waving at him
I
during the
was.
performance. Yeah.
I was, but the funny thing is that it happened on Thursday and Friday where I'm over here acting a fool because I'm drawing out a heart in the sky and then I'm blowing kisses and I'm pushing it with my hand towards them. And
I can
the thing
picture.
was
I can
that-
see it. I can see it.
And I was
Yep.
totally telling myself, "Be cool, Maria. Be cool. Be cool, Maria."
No,
That was my
she was
mantra
not
for the
telling
day.
herself that because I could hear her saying it. She was not talking to herself. Everyone around her could hear her say, "Be cool, Maria. Be cool. Be cool. Be cool, Maria. Be cool." I wanted to turn around and be like, "Shut up, Maria. Shut up." I'm trying to concentrate.
Sometimes you have to say it out loud so you can really understand it. But anyway,
Right.
so I'm doing all these things, right? And it kind of landed on the wrong person because Danny and John were looking at me like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, I love you too," but it's to Jordan. But Jordan wasn't his like moment. He was like practicing and rehearsing, and he was like, he shut out the world. So I'm over here like trying to catch his attention and just blowing kisses and stuff like that, and you know, it caught other people's attention, which
Yeah.
I didn't mind. But I'm like,
Jordan was fuckest. He was fuckest.
he was focused.
Oh, it took me a minute to figure out what
Focus.
you were saying.
What is she saying?
Focused.
Oh.
But instead it came out a bad word.
Well, no, I'm saying it was an accent. I mean,
Fuckest.
What accent is that?
No comment.
Okay. It's sort of when you have to explain a joke and kill it. Wong wong.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, so that was cool. I mean, like, you know, of
Yeah,
course,
I mean-
the whole them just acknowledging you and seeing you and waving or like pointing and the dimples and the cheese with the little bing. That all just melted.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were energized, and you could tell they were excited. I wish there would have been time for them to you kind of interact and chit chat, but it's not going to happen on the show like that. They have a very tight schedule, and the reason why the stage was set up is because they were pre-recording another segment with people from the Share Show. So
Turn back
time, and I saw the Share Show, and it's amazing, and I'm pretty sure the people who got to get a little snippet of it thought it was amazing too. So
That's cool.
Yeah, I
is
was
cool.
like, wow, yeah, sing it, Cher. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, it's not her.
Right.
She was
And it,
feeling it.
right. And you know what? When I think back at it too, I'm like, I did not use my strategies well, because when we walked into the studio, she was still there kind of rehearsing. And I'm like, that kind of looks like the girl from the Cher show, you know? And if they were still clearing out from the show before, the performer on the stage would not still be there. So she was clearly pre-rehearsing, which would have been an indication of the fact that the New Kids were not performing on that side of the studio.
Oh.
You don't
Yeah.
know.
But I was in a zone. I was like, I'm gonna see Donnie. I'm gonna be near the New Kids, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited. And I woke up early, and I'm excited. Yes. So
I would have probably walked right down to the damn stage.
try to hide in a big drum or something.
Yeah.
Just pop out, be like, surprise!
Guess who? And covered their eyes.
Right. Oh my God! Wait, how amazing would that be to crawl out of a drum and start banging like boys in the band?
Oh my God! Security.
They're gonna have to catch me. Mm-mm.
I can hear the ice crinkling, clink.
Oh, you did?
I heard it too.
Hey, it's cocktail hour. I like it.
Oh man! So
I got some Zima upstairs.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And you know what? At the end of the day, I was just so happy to get to be there, to have, flexible time from work, to be off, and that our hunch worked out.
Yeah.
Because at some point, a little panic set in and said, what if they're pre-recording the show before us? And like,
yes,
we're walking into like not New Kids.
Oh man.
Right. I think there was like a discussion of like faking stomach cramps, diarrhea, anything to like get out of the studio. To be like, we don't want to be here. We came here for the New Kids, and the New Kids are not here, so we don't want to be here.
But we know they're in the building, so we'll just wait for them outside.
Right. But once the guy said, he saw their wardrobe and, they were trying to figure out the outfit for the day, we were like, okay, our hunch was right. So that was exciting.
I wasn't aware of that plan, of the diarrhea plan. That's probably because I was facing the wall like a 5-year-old kid sent to the corner.
And sneezing, yeah.
Just nonstop sneezing.
She probably sneezed like 20 times within an hour.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was like the Donnie.
That was like the Donnie episode right before we recorded, and I'm like, oh shit.
I probably sneezed 200 times.
Oh my God.
In like
really?
a half hour.
I was
wow.
And I mean, she was like full body.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Yep. It was bad. My whole face was like draining.
And I'm like, what are we going to do?
I know. And then magically
it's like
he was on and I was way better.
I think there's something about your mindset, because I was nonstop sneezing. It was like back to back, like a good 5 or 10 sneezes back to back, right? So, but then when I went in the like the studio, it stopped.
Yeah.
Like right before, a little bit before that, but it stopped.
It's like there's something inside you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Nice.
Like, don't do it. It's not the time.
block.
It's not the time. Because Jordan doesn't like sick people. So
yeah, that's true.
I can't even I can't even like show any kind of like itchiness or weakness. Nope, I'm not sick. I am totally 100% healthy.
But it was nice to, you know what? It's nice because also through the years, I've become friendly with quite a few people who live in the area or the vicinity. And like, I feel like I knew a lot of people in line who were
cool.
blockheads.
That is cool.
And that was nice too. So, after the show, like we socialize with different people or be like, I think I'm friends with you on like Facebook or Twitter. It's always nice to put a face in real life to a social media account. Because I'm the worst with that. I mean, I could be looking at myself and be like, who that? Like,
Same.
That me.
Who this?
Yeah.
Who this be?
Yeah. So.
So did they do anything else that day? Did they?
No, they went to rehearse.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I think they went to rehearse. Yep. Not that I know of. I feel like Friday was the day where they were everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was still looking. I was like, "Ooh, what if they put on a little mini concert at the radio theater?" I was checking. Trust me.
I was just thinking, there's probably stuff that we don't even know about that we didn't see that they were on, possibly.
Well, yeah, I mean, we didn't know about the Times Square little photo op, but at the same time, if we did know, we had to sacrifice some things because we had to be online for another. So we had to weigh out. It was like Sophie's choice. You had to weigh out what you want to give up. And Jackie did a Sophie's choice for sure.
And honestly, I think we spent most of Thursday changing the plan over and over based off of just whatever we could figure out or the information we got. So after Kelly and Ryan, we met up with some other blockheads and we had food, which was nice, right? Because we've been up since 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I ate quote unquote breakfast before I left because I'm like, I don't want to be hangry, Jackie. But she's not cute. She looks like that meme picture we sent you. So,
do you give me permission to post that online?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's freaking. I laughed so hard. I'm trying to remember who alerted me to it. They were like, your face in this picture is like it was in a bunch of pictures, so I wouldn't have even known about it until somebody like pointed it out. And I was like, this is amazing. Now I know what people are talking about when they say the Jackie face.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of the Jackie faces, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really a sweetheart, people. If you see me giving you that look, just make a joke and I swear I'll smile.
No, she won't. Because I make some jokes and she looks at me like, she gives me the next Jackie look. I'm like, wow. Well.
Anyway. So while we
Brooke's already doing something with the picture.
Oh my God.
I'll send it to you in a moment.
Okay. So then while we were eating, I think it might have been Jenny's idea. She was like, we should just do the museum today.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I was like, that's a great idea. We could find out what's going on with the wristbands because, in true New Kid fashion, and I know they're not the ones orchestrating it, but there's base information, but not details.
Yeah.
Right? Like how many wristbands are you giving out? Like with Backstreet Boys, they gave up to 2 wristbands, and I think you could buy up to 10 CDs or something like that. Are they doing the same thing with New Kids? Like the information wasn't there.
Like different information, and it's so crazy. It's like somebody who has an in. It says like, oh, there's only like 400 wristbands and they're only giving one per person. And so that means that changes the plans because that means that everybody that wants to get their stuff signed has to be there. Because we were planning to be like, all right, I'll get online and I'll get a CD for me and a CD for Jackie. That means I'll get 2 bracelets, right? While Jackie is on the line for something else.
Right.
We were like straight up doing some Amazing Race kind of stuff, right?
It was an Amazing Race that day. It was. Yeah.
And sacrifices had to be made. And so everybody was like giving out different information. So you it's so crazy because you're like, okay, this person hangs out with this so and they may have an in and they might have some, intel, and then this other person, but then Sony is saying this and they're the ones that running the show. Yeah. So you don't know who to listen to. You don't know how to plan, because if you plan the wrong thing, it all goes to poop.
Yeah, and it kind of went to poop for us. Because Joe left before we could get into the signing.
Oh, that's
That's right.
I don't consider that poop because
no, it's not poop because we live here. I caught him the next day.
Yeah.
Hey.
But I mean,
it
sucks
for people who traveled in, that sucks. Yeah.
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 Well, some people went that night, so
I was just happy for what I got. I got. Right. We were talking about, first of all, we're happy that we were front row at the Kelly and somebody else.
Although it's a small studio, so even if you weren't front row, they would have seen you. Yeah, if they know you.
They looked up everywhere. So
yeah.
Then we were lucky to be at the to even get like a CD or something like that to get it signed. We got to see them. I think that's just a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after we ate, we went to the Sony Square store where they have a mini New Kids exhibit.
That was so cool.
That
So
looks
that was
really
cool.
cool.
I think
It
we
wasn't
were the
as
only
it,
ones there that stayed more than an hour.
well, I don't think. Well, I think we got turned around. We were about to leave, and then we saw all the other exhibits that were non-New Kids related, and we were like, "Oh, we need to do this. We need to do this."
That
But I mean,
Elvis.
yes,
Oh my gosh.
That was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
that
was
was cool.
awesome.
We were like, Nikki's gonna love this.
I absolutely loved it. And that picture is like 100%.
Banging.
100%.
I mean,
Banging.
that might have been like take number 25, but
it was so
yeah,
good.
It was awesome though.
three women trying to look their best.
Well, you look
But I mean,
you
like-
look amazing in that. All three of you look amazing in
You
that
look
picture.
like models.
You do.
Aww.
Well, Jenny looks like she has the Beyonce fan blowing on her. Her hair is like going back. I was like,
Her
what
hair,
the hell happened?
Jenny's got some
Um,
amazing hair that it
Yeah,
looks
she
like-
does. Amazing
it looks
hair
like
and skin.
Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. That hair, just
Yeah.
like whoosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the exhibit wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be, but I think at least Maria and I had a moment because they kept the exhibit plays a cover girl from Hanging Tough live video over on a loop,
That's so
and I was
cool.
like, oh my God, Jenny is just like in New Kids history
Exhibition.
right now, right?
That's so cool.
Everyone who walks in and sees little Jenny, little
Oh,
Jenny,
little Jenny.
Aww.
We were
Yeah.
so proud of
So
her.
cute.
yeah.
We made friends with the people, the staff.
Well, we make friends everywhere we go. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
Kitty Cat.
they find us entertaining.
Um, so yeah, we even told the staff about Jenny, and I was like, we know her. We all
Yeah.
want to be her, and we know her. And
And
it
these
happened
young- yeah.
again.
And these young guys were like, okay.
Oh.
Good story.
Yeah. So what was funny is that
coins.
Heather B had sent me a copy of a tweet that Sony Square had responded to someone basically saying, so basically the question was, Sony Square, is the New Kids on the Block signing going to be just like BSB signing, where you get 2 wristbands, et cetera, et cetera? And Sony Square's Twitter account replied, yes, just
Oh.
like BSB. So, that's the whole thing, right? There's different information everywhere. So we showed the guys and we were like, are you
We
aware
asked
that your
everybody in there, every
Yeah.
staff member, as if they were going to give us a different answer.
different
once we saw
information?
their
One guy
weakness-
said, one guy
Okay.
said we have thousands of wristbands. I'm like, thousands? So
That's
I was like, are you?
Once we saw like any kind of weakness and not continue it, like different story, we
Yeah.
pounced on it. We were like, well, as a matter
Well,
of fact,
what
show
had
the
happened
receipts,
was
Jackie. Show the
exhibit.
receipts.
Yeah, I got receipts. Exhibit A. This tweet from your store. So I showed it to him and I was like, people are going to be very upset tomorrow. They're thinking this, you're saying something completely different. I'm like, you need to correct this. And he's like, thank you. I'm going to email the guy who handles our Twitter account, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, was it you
Well,
and me, Maria? I was like,
Well, I was okay. So this is what
what do
happened.
we
This
get
is
for
my
our
version
act of
the story.
kindness?
This is my version of the story. So Jackie and Jenny met up with 2 people that I don't know who they were, but they decided in this like lower Manhattan where the buildings kind of cause a tunnel for all the cold Arctic wind to just dance through. And
AKA wind tunnel.
well, I was describing it. Okay, so so the 3 of us are walking towards the Sony place, right? And they meet up with these 2 girls and they're like, oh, hey, it's a Sunday afternoon. It's wonderful. It's summer because we're just going to chat here forever. And I was like, no, I'm going inside. Why can't this conversation happen indoors? I was like, you know what? Cold Maria is kind of cranky Maria. So I was like, see y'all later, peoples. And I went inside. And so in the meantime, while they're talking, I'm over here talking to the staff, and I'm like, hey, hi. And then we just started talking, and I was like, well, I've been working the angle ever since I went in there. I was like, listen, tomorrow tomorrow. He was like, yeah, it's going to be crazy. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to be here. But guess what? I need some heat. So what do I need to do to get inside? Not even to get like the bracelets. I just wanted to be inside indoors because I was really shooketh at the cold. So yes. And so that's, moving forward. I mean, the fast forward to Jackie's story where she's like, so I gave you this information where you're going to go and rectify this error that you put out in the Twitterverse. What do we get?
Yes. So he's like, I can give you tokens. I'm like,
you're like, we want heat.
Well, I didn't say anything. First of all, side note, Maria is wearing a fall jacket and me and Jenny are dressed appropriately. So if you want it to be warm, maybe you shouldn't be a fashionista. How about that?
Well, I go indoors. Like I drive and I go from indoor to indoor.
You don't wear a swimsuit when you're going
through New York City streets.
Yeah, you don't wear a swimsuit when you're going skiing. I'm just saying.
But yeah, it's cold. We were in the 60s. No, we were in the 70s, 40s. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway,
it was freaking cold, and she was like, not even talking about transportation. I was like, how are we gonna get downtown? How is this happening?
Shout out to Kathy and Amy, who we were chatting with outside.
These ladies are not worried about osteoporosis.
Who said, hey, they have an exhibit in there called the 360 Experience. They have boys in the bands in their set list. You need to ask them to play that while you're doing this experience. It's really cool. We were like, thank you for the information. We're going to do that. So apparently,
tokens.
What are the tokens for?
So the tokens were for this like almost like a bubblegum type machine. And they were like, if you get, I didn't hear this part because I don't know what I was doing. But if you get a 360-degree pin, then you win something from the store. And then if not, there's like other stuff. So Maria went first and she got a pin that was the logo name
label that you
of
kids are on.
Legacy. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I don't know about.
He's the one that told us about it. He was like,
yeah,
he goes, spin the thing, and I was like, yeah, spin the wheel. But and then
he may have been BSing us.
Yeah, because
no, they are on Legacy. I just looked at the CD.
He was talking about like how do you get the tokens? He was like, well,
yeah.
To tweet, but I'm just giving it to you. I was like, okay, great.
Right. That's true. That's true. You're supposed to tweet, and then you win a token, and then you could maybe win something. And then I went next, and it was like a 2-layer like machine. So I was like, I'm gonna go from the bottom, and I got a 360-degree pin.
What?
I think that my dance helped.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
My dance helped. We, had to do like a little dance, like of good luck.
Right.
We were definitely entertaining those people working there.
Yes, we were. So I won a sweatshirt, a Columbia sweatshirt. And then
Jenny got the legacy pin as well.
The legacy pin as well. So
and Rod got the legacy pin as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think Jenny finagled another token somehow with that. That sweet smile of hers. And she went again, and she was able, and she got another pin. So she's like, okay, me and Rod could be twins now. But we're getting off topic, Maria. We're supposed to be talking about New Kids. It's a block party, right?
We provided some New Kid education. We spread it around New York City.
Okay.
To a different generation.
So we went and did other exhibits in the store, which was fun. And then Maria was like, I need a drink. It's been a long day. We
were supposed to go home by then, but we won.
It's probably like 5 o'clock by now, 4:30, 5 o'clock by now. So I've been up since 6 o'clock. Yeah. And at that point, we're going through the different scenarios of like, we don't know how many wristbands are going to be. Where are you going to be? I'll meet you here. We had the AOL Build tickets too. So, and that's also not a guaranteed entry. You have to get there at a certain time in order to be able to get in the studio.
Mm-hmm. You have to be like, you never know how many they're going to let in. I guess you can guesstimate about like a good 20. It could be 50. It could be 20, depending on how they arrange the thing. But that's no way that a fan member can know that. So
Right.
it's sort of like you want to be like the first 2 or something like that, because after 10, you may not know if you're going to get in. Even the ticket says you're not guaranteed.
Right. So, and the schedule was tight. We don't have New Kids, escorts around the city.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
You don't have the black van.
Sadly.
right.
Yeah. It's too bad you couldn't hop on that
It
train.
was, right.
Remember
So
them.
we were just strategizing and trying to figure out like what's the best plan. And I swear it must have changed like 15 times, to the point where the morning when I woke up on Friday, I was like, I know I need to be at GMA. I don't know who's going to be on the wristband line. I don't know who's going to be on the AOL line. I just don't know.
That's where Kim comes in. Kim,
Yes.
when she sacrificed GMA.
Well, she didn't have a ticket for GMA, but she was hoping that she would catch him on the outside. So that was the other thing with being in this fandom, or being you guys are, even though we're in different places, we're communicating and sharing information, which is crucial.
Right.
So while I'm on the line for GMA, we're asking, are the New Kids going to come outside and do anything? And they said, actually, no, everything is inside. So I messaged Kim and say, like, you don't need to be here. Like, you're not missing out on anything, because everything's going to be on the inside. So even if you come and stand outside the studio, you're not going to see them. So that, that leads to her saying, okay, I'm just going to go straight to the wristband line. Like, I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah.
And, I'll hold a spot for you. I think the only thing my only mishap was that I didn't look for Kim after GMA to come and stand with her, because there were so many people on the line, and I was just like, I don't want to have any fights with anyone, or,
Yeah, that was
right.
That was the thing that was like sad. Like, people were complaining that people were sleeping there overnight, and they were there like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Yes, and people were, and that's crazy. And if you're listening to this, like, you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that. It's 17, 5, 10 degrees at night. You could have hurt yourself seriously. And you just make everyone else try to come early. Like, I mean, whatever. It's your decision, but
how about we all agree
and I hope
get there at 9?
Yeah. I hope you have your digits still. I hope you have all your fingers and toes.
I saw someone paid some guy to stand in line.
So there's this service, because apparently, it's true though. Like, people have to wait online for standbys or things like that. So some genius decided to say, hey, you know what? I'll stand online, but you have to pay me.
Hey.
And then he started a little business where he got people, you pay people and they'll stand online for you. And whatever. And then you get the ticket that you want. Like, people were doing a lot. I heard of that with the Hamilton. Other Broadway shows where you can, what is it? You can just go on to the standby or whatever. So, but you have to be the day of or a couple of hours before the show. So it got to the point where, Hamilton the show's at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and people were there like at 7 a.m. or whatever. So that's a benefit. Like, that's a perk. You don't, especially if you're from like away, like from a different state or something, where you want to enjoy the city, you want to go to dinner, you want to do whatever it is, and to have it bummed out by you standing online. So it's a win-win situation for me, I think.
Yeah, if you can afford it, then great. But you know what? No, you know what? Let me rewind. I'm not going to bash on you. If you want to do that and it was some kind of bonding experience, then
no.
Cheers to that.
No.
But I can understand in the summertime, but in the wintertime,
it was cold.
In the wintertime, when you can like you could get really sick or lose extremities. Like, I'd rather be fighting the street rats than losing my fingers. I'll just say that.
But I'm over here thinking, like, man, you're gonna have to, it's cold, and that's on the next event. That's the standard to be standing there overnight. No, man.
Right, because then that's what it sets the expectation. So even like with the Today Show after the Apollo, like there was just like, should we go right after the Apollo show? Like, like
I'm glad that we didn't.
Me too.
Yeah,
people did. Like, why?
People did, and I'm just like, but you know what? I said it's gonna be 10 to 20 people the most. Like those are the people who just can't deal with the fact that they didn't get in, and more power to you. But the plaza's big. It's going to be a lot of people. Like if we get there early enough, you'll get in. It's all a matter of how close you'll be.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could be quote unquote in the front, but the way the cameras are set up, you're in the back. Like so you unless you know the setup, you sometimes you don't win by doing that. But for a day that cold, where it was like one of the coldest days of our winter so far, to kind of stay overnight, that concerns
more power
me.
to you. I mean, no, power to you. You do what you got to do. If you want to sacrifice a toe or nose, whatever.
Yeah,
go for it. But
yeah,
don't.
I got there. Yeah, I got there at like 10:15, maybe. No, that's not true. I got there like at 9:30.
Where?
And to the wristband line. I got there at 9:30 because after GMA, I was like, well, we might as well just go stand in the line. And I should have went to go stand with Kim, who was way further up, but not that much further up. And by the time I got into the store, I looked at the time, it was 12:18. And the only reason why I was stressing the time is because we needed to get to AOL Build to make sure we could get in. And we literally walked in and saw the line inside the store. And I was just like, we're not going to make it. Yeah, I did a Sophie's choice. And, that is agonizing, right? Because you just stood outside for like
an hour or more.
3 hours almost.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Right? Yeah, I think, or maybe I got there at 10:15. Maybe it was 10:15. I remember thinking I just stood outside for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, wow. And then they opened the doors at 11, but
they even opened the doors early. They opened the doors at like 10:45 because of the amount of people, and the security guard was going down the line and saying like, "Oh, we have 500 wristbands."
Whoa! They had thousands before.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Peter over there trying to impress us.
Yeah, as they say in Spanish, mentiroso, meaning liar. And he's like, we have 500 wristbands, but he was counting. The security guard kept going down like every 20 minutes and counting the people. And he's like, oh, we're only at 300. You're good. And I'm thinking, okay, so if we don't get in time, maybe after AOL Build, we could run back and get a wristband. If we're only at 300, like what's the chances that 200 people are going to show up in the middle of the day to get a wristband?
That was a good strategic thought, because I wouldn't have thought that.
Well,
I wouldn't have thought the math. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there's like a stampede of people at lunchtime. I don't know. So
that's a possibility. You don't know. That's the thing. You kids, what are you doing to us? You make us make these tough choices.
It's hard.
You try to hi.
A beautiful mind over there trying to be a New Kids fan to make sure that you go to all of these like things.
I know.
Timelines. And you're over here trying to perfect, professions that are not even yours. Like all of a sudden Jackie turned into a freaking producer schedule coordinator or something, because she's trying to figure out how GMA is being taped and what time the time frame and the distance.
It was like a scene out of the movie A Beautiful Mind. There was numbers in the air floating,
trains, degrees.
I was coordinating like 7 people. I'm like, you go here at this time and blah blah blah. It's crazy. I'm not doing that again.
That's why that face happened. That's why that face happened, because she's over here texting people and she's just trying to be nice and give people information. Or like, okay, this is what's happening over here, or try to coordinate. Like, okay, I got a ticket for you over here, or so.
Right.
She was
right.
Like,
I was.
These kinds of things.
I was
really nice. And I was just like not having it. I'm like, no.
Well, we weren't even together half the day, but like, there is a term that came out of it, because yes, there were other blockheads sharing information or trying to hook other people up, and at the end of it, we called ourselves the Good Karma Crew. Because
I think I need to sidestep on that one, because I'll be like, oh,
okay. Well, don't make yourself into an evil monster. You're not that.
No, I mean, I know, but I was just like, that looks like a lot of work.
Right. Okay.
And
I mean, we're skipping ahead, but basically, I was on the line with my friend Josie, who went to GMA with me. We stepped into the store. It was 12:18. I looked at the line and I said, Josie, we're gonna have to leave. I feel like AOL Build is gonna be a better experience for us because we'll actually see an interview, be in the same room with the guys, whereas the signing is really probably gonna be a quick hello, sign, goodbye. So we need to make a choice. And we like ran out like we were on fire. We were like, taxi! Taxi!
I'm
Like,
gonna, but you didn't talk about GMA.
right. So I'm gonna rewind to GMA.
Okay.
So that's our wristband experience. Basically on the line, and we were with some other girls that we met at GMA. And we had a great time, like just getting to know each other. We had heard of each other, but didn't really know each other. We were friends on social media, but never really interacted besides social media. So that was a nice experience.
Oh my God.
So I say that only because they're an integral part to the Good Karma crew. All right. So Good Morning America.
So Maria, were you at Good Morning America?
Nope.
Okay.
No. Josie and I were at Good Morning America. And I told her, I'm going to get there early. Don't worry about it. Just meet me at this time. And, she was like, no, I don't want you to stand online by yourself, which was really sweet. And, she ended up getting there before me. And she lives way further out than I do. So I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm still at home when you're already there.
Oh.
But it's not that far from me. I can get there in like 15, 20 minutes, especially at that time in the morning. But she was like, I'm the first one in line, so we're good. I'm like, great.
Wow.
So she was mixed up with the fan pass people because there was only one line because, I mean, at that time in the morning, 5 a.m, the crew is not really there. Like the ticket collectors are not really there.
Yeah, right.
So eventually they started splitting off the line and we were like, okay, cool. We're the first people in like 1 iota priority. Excellent. We were the only people for a long time, but
Oh, wow.
we didn't realize that people who were arriving were getting into the wrong line. So once the ticket people came out, they started separating us out appropriately. And we're like, okay, here are all the other people who got tickets. So first the fan pass people went in and I was like, that's expected. They're probably gonna, shoot a pro. Oh, no, we saw the guys arriving.
Oh.
So when I came, she said, wait, I saw Donnie, Jordan, and John arrive. So I think she said, oh, Joe already arrived. And did we see Danny arrive? I can't remember.
So Joe got there before you were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was there
Wow.
early. Yeah.
Jeepers.
I was like, okay.
Joe, you're an early riser? I didn't peg you for such.
I didn't think he was, but he was there. And then while I was there with Josie, then a van pulled up and there was Jordan, and then eventually Donnie came, and then John came, which was nice, and John even came out for a smoke and was socializing with people in the fan pass line.
So
which was nice.
What's a fan pass line?
So the fan pass line were the people from Block Nation who answered that. So there were some people from Block Nation, I guess, I don't know what the rhyme or reason is, who got an email saying the guys are going to be on GMA. And, like if you respond to this email really quickly, you might get a fan pass.
Okay.
I remember specifically when this email came in because I have an alert for my Gmail account, which is where my Block Nation goes. So that it pops up on my screen. And like literally I saw something pop up that said like New Kids on the Block, and my coworker was asking me something and I was just like, oh my God, shut up. I need to check my phone. Get out. I said yes to whatever he said because I just needed him out of my office so that I could read this email. And 5 minutes later, I finally read it. And I read it very quickly, and then I'm like messaging. I'm like, did you get this email? Did you get this email? Before I even respond, thinking like it's a raffle, not knowing that you had to respond right away. And no one is answering me because guess what? It's like 9 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to get to work. So I'm like, oh, you had to like respond right away to see. if you wanted to get like a fan pass. So I mean, clearly I wasn't in time, but we all sent it back. So with GMA
It was
sometimes.
you and Kim.
Yeah.
No, Kim responded right away. Like, yeah.
Ah!
But with the fan with whenever a group is coming on, sometimes with GMA, kind of like the Today Show, they'll give them a certain amount of passes for studio audience members. GMA is very generous with it, especially being that it's an inside studio. So there was a fan pass line for all those people who got a pass. And then there was a GMA VIP line. So I guess people who work at GMA.
This is too much stuff for me to keep up.
Could say like, oh, I want to have a guest on this day for this show.
Oh, wow.
Then there was one iota. Wait, there's fan pass, GMA VIP. Then I think there was one iota priority and then one iota general admission.
And you guys were priority.
We were priority, but look, the fan pass probably had like 30 people on it.
Oh, wow.
The GMA VIP probably had like 30 people on it.
Oh, geez.
So me and Josie are just there like, oh my God, we're first in line for priority. What? I even started arguing with the people. I'm like, aren't we next? They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, oh, okay. So, and then you go into the studio and they make you like go through, obviously a metal detector, and then you have to go check your coats and big bags because they don't want it on the screen. So there's like a whole process. But while we came upstairs, we saw the guys rehearsing. They were rehearsing step by step.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, cool. The stage is going to be like in a certain part of the studio. That's awesome. But apparently what they were rehearsing was more for Michael and Sarah, the show after. So, Maria, you stupid. She totally took me off track. I'm like, you're stupid. Just, if you keep this in, Nikki, just for the people listening, Maria texted me a picture, and that's me responding, you're stupid.
This is a next picture.
I can't deal with her sometimes. She's so funny, but like, Lord have mercy on my soul. I still lost my train of thought.
So you made it in. You were the first iota, and they were rehearsing.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So we see them rehearsing, and they have us on hold in the hallway. And we're like, oh my God, okay, they're gonna be performing there. The studio's set up different than the way GMA is usually set up. So wow. After we came out from checking our coats, which was quite a while, it was almost like a half an hour. Let me not say that, like maybe 20 minutes. All of a sudden where they were performing, there were chairs. And I'm like, I was like, okay, I made the connection there. My beautiful mind was working. And I was like, okay, what they were rehearsing was probably from Mike and I think it's Sarah show after, which we saw from the guide that they were going to be on as well. Now, when I went to GMA before for Backstreet Boys, which I had a fan pass for, the Backstreet Boys pre-recorded a segment for Michael and Sarah's show right after GMA ended. So I got to be on both shows, which was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
I didn't know it was happening at the, it was going to happen, but they said, just hang tight. We're pre-recording something for
hang tough, people. Hang tough.
Well, they didn't say hang tough for the Backstreet Boys, but yeah. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's probably going to happen. And that was another thing that went into the thought process of the wristband line. I'm like, if they ask us to stay behind and pre-record for Michael Strahan, and I think her name is Sarah, like I said, then that means we're going to get out much later than anticipated.
Right.
But apparently that was really only going to happen with the fan pass. Okay. Anyway, so we get into the studio and it's kind of empty.
Really?
So I'm like, what happened to the 60 people who went in before us? And I was like, oh my gosh, they're downstairs recording promos with the guys. Because what GMA does is they usually line people up and it's kind of like a rally where the guys like they promo the guys coming in, and the fans are like yelling with like pom poms and confetti and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were all downstairs.
Oh my God.
So when they were seating us, I was like, listen, Josie, just say you want to be like right here. And I pointed to where I was for the Backstreet Boys because I knew it was a great seat. And we didn't even have to ask. She put us there and we were right in the front, in the back, like behind the guys. So I'm like, this is freaking amazing. And we were like, and I was like, the seat next to you is for the security guy. It's like turned around. Like I already knew the lay of the land from having this Backstreet Boys experience. So yeah. And they put us there, and that's awesome. We're taking pictures. We're like, oh my God, we're winning in life. This is amazing. So then we see the people with the fan passes. There were some people with the fan passes already seated. The studio's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
But then we see like a majority of the people for the fan passes come up and they seat them behind us. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be ugly. And I already heard it going like, well, we need to talk to them. Like the people with one iota have better seats than we do. Like, and I was just like, I'm just going to sit here and mind my own business.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to start filing my nails with my teeth. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm minding my own.
Right. I'm like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And you know what? Like, enjoy what you got.
Yeah.
Right.
You're in there.
Because guess what? Second row, is just as good as first row, honestly. But,
It is.
So, but you know, if I was in their position, I probably would say the same thing. Like, wait a freaking minute here. And there are plenty of front row seats still available too. So, I mean, it's not like they were saying, kick these people out. We want their seats. But
Right.
so basically a producer comes up and I guess maybe had talked to some of the fan pass people and selected someone to ask a fan question. And I guess she was reconsidering it. She was like, oh, you know what? I don't want to be on camera.
Oh.
I don't want to ask the question. And he's like, what? And he's like, what about you? So he started asking the other fan pass people next to her, like, what about you? What about you? And they were like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'd say.
And so I'm taking pictures and getting ready, you know, to do my boomerangs and stuff, not paying attention. And Josie's paying attention, and she was like, my friend Jackie here will do it.
Hey.
And I'm like, what's going on? What? And he was like, oh, do you want to ask the fan question? And I'm like, huh? And I remember the person behind me being the one who was selected. And I just turned around and said, like, why won't you do it? Like, what's the problem? Like, why wouldn't you ask the new kids a question? Like, what's the deal? She's like, no, I get nervous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking like, okay, then why'd you agree to do it? But okay. And I was like, well, I remember the girl next to me got selected to ask the BSB fan question. And they moved her to another seat front row, but like in front of the guys, not behind the guys. And I was like, well, I have a friend with me. So, you know, I know you switch seats for people, but I'm not leaving her behind. And he was like, no, I got 2 seats for you in the front if you do it. I'm like, I'm in.
Yes.
I'm in. Yes. And he was like, well, I have to test you out first. Okay, people, I'm giving you the secrets of television.
I love it.
Okay?
I love it so much.
Because, yeah, that's not a question I would ask. I'd be like, Donnie, like, do you want to leave Jenny and marry me? Like, what? That would be my question. I'll give you some brown sugar. Yes. So
You'd say, like, Joey, are you going to be on the My So-Called Whatever podcast?
Basically, yes. Actually, that probably would have come out of my mouth.
Oh, God.
Rain. I mean, actually, I wonder what would have happened if I did that. Because, I mean, it was live, right? Black screen. Like,
bars.
So he was like, you know, we want you to ask them, like, who would be, like, the 6th member if you could include a pop person.
I just thought of a scenario.
What?
It would be like, post-production, it'd be like one of those, like, kung fu movies from the 80s where Jackie's mouth actually does not say what comes to the audience. Right. Basically, Jackie would be like, "Do you want to marry me? I'm gonna be your third wife." And
I mean, he must have been nervous because he rehearsed me 3 times. He's like, "So what are you gonna say exactly?"
Really?
And I
Oh my
was-
gosh.
and he's like, "But I want to see it with energy and enthusiasm." I'm like, "Oh, I got energy. I drank a sugar-free Red Bull. I'm ready to go." So he was like, "Okay." So then he moved us, and we happened to be right next to Eva, aka Eva Knight,
Mhm.
and this other girl, Elle, who I had met for the first time. See, this is where the 6 degrees of blockhead come in. Who I had met for the first time the day prior at Kelly and Ryan, and only because Heather B, who's coming from Cali for Joe's show, and then, miraculously she was going to be here for the New Kids press thing, said, "I'm going to Joe's show with my friend Elle, and she's going to Kelly and Ryan." I was like,
Oh.
I don't think I know her. But then when I walked in and you clearly saw other blockheads, I was like, "Hi, I'm Jackie, blah, blah, blah." She's like, "Oh, I'm Elle." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my friend just said you were going to be at the show."
Elle was our neighbor on the cruise.
Oh,
Our next door neighbor.
see?
And we met her at the Apollo. She came up to us and she was a riot.
She was.
Yeah, she is a riot. So there you go, 6 degrees.
Yeah.
So after Kelly and Ryan, I had been, this is where Maria was like, Jackie was like on her phone trying to coordinate stuff. I think eventually I called it like the New Kids Mafia or something, like negotiating deals for people.
I love
So
it.
a friend had gotten AOL bill tickets, but she wasn't sure that she could make it. So she was like, "If someone can get wristbands, I will trade my AOL bill tickets for the wristbands." So that was an iffy deal, right? Because we didn't know if you were giving 1 wristband or 2.
Right.
So I said to, I was like, "Elle, are you here with someone? Are you going for the wristbands tomorrow?" I was like, "You want to get one? You want to get an extra one? I can get you an AOL bill ticket."
Ooh.
I just want to say that that I was there and I'm confused about what happened.
Because you were on the phone. You were on the phone arguing with the postal service. Anyway. So yes. So GMA was great. The guys came out. And honestly, I lost it for a second because I knew already. I mean, I forgot, but I knew that when the guys come out, they kind of like have this wall like slide open and then they come out. And there's a door next to it, so it's deceiving. You think they're going to walk through this door. And in my head, I forgot about the sliding wall, even though I know it happens every time. So they're like, "New Kids on the block." And then the wall slides open and there's smoke and like flashing lights. And I just started jumping up and down like a little girl. I'm like, "Oh my God, they just jumped out from behind the wall." Like, you knew that was happening, Jackie. What's wrong with you?
It's still exciting.
It is. They make it exciting. It's like a big reveal. And the show was great. The interview was great. It came part to my question. And I already knew, one, it was a cold day. And for the people who don't live in cold weather, when it's cold, the coldness will drain your battery.
It would drain your soul.
Well, no, it drains your cell phone battery, which could be some people's soul.
Yeah.
So like I already had turned off like on airplane mode. And thank goodness I did, because my phone would have been like, because when I turned it back on, people were like, "Did I just see you on GMA with New Kids on the block?" Like, but yeah, I got to ask a question. It was awesome. They didn't really answer.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, because Dottie was like, "Do you really want a 6 new kid?" And I don't know if I haven't.
You're
watched
like, "Dude,
back,
it's not my question."
Right. And Joe at some point, and I haven't watched it back, but was like, "What? We're not good enough for you?" Like,
oh no.
But not in a joking way, like not in a like
he was like
like a sarcastic. And I was just like, I don't know what to do now. They're not answering the question.
Right.
And then they kind of started cutting to something else. And at the very end, Donnie was like, Michael Strahan. So from that, they took that clip and then used it on the Michael and I want to say Sarah show.
Yes.
And then all people were like, "Oh shit, you're on Michael and
why
so and so." So after the show, Donnie formed the selfie line.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, they immediately started breaking the set down to make it be Michael and Sarah, but they weren't really kicking us out, which was weird. So I was like, "Oh, are they letting us stay for the next segment?" And one person was like, "You can stay," and then the next person was like, "No, if you don't have a band, you have to leave." But at that point, we had already decided to leave because I was like, "No, if we stay for the next show, we're gonna be stuck here until like I don't know, 12 o'clock, and then that's really gonna like mess us up with the wristband line."
Right.
So, Elle, Eva, Josie, and I went on down to the Sony Square store. Hence my side-eye picture eventually. Oh, and we met Rachel down there, who's another My So-Called Whatever member.
Yay.
Yeah. And then, through my Mafia negotiations, my friend who had the AOL Build tickets had taken ill that morning and couldn't make it. And she's like, "I don't want the tickets to go to waste." So I ended up getting her to transfer them to Elle and Rachel so that they could go to AOL Build. So this is where the Sophie's Choice comes in.
Oh.
We all get into Sony Square at the same time. And I'm like, "Ladies," and Heather had a ticket too. And I was like, "Ladies, we're not going to make it. Like, if we stay in this line and get these CDs, we're not going to make it into AOL Build."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, we want to stay." They were getting CDs for other people, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, "All right, vaya con Dios, go with God." And Josie and I hopped in a cab and like, we literally showed up there like at 12:35 or something. And the show was for 1.
Oh, wow.
And, Jenny, Michelle, all these other people, Kim, Maria, they were ahead of us on the line.
We were already inside, sitting down.
Yeah,
like, oh man,
sitting down. Yeah, based off of my instructions. So I'm like, And they were like, "No, you guys have to stay online." And I'm like, "What?" So I'm like, "But my friends are in there. They're holding a spot for me." And come to find out that they were holding a spot, and they kept telling the lady like I'm in the bathroom for like 2 hours.
Oh.
Eventually, she was like, "No more." So someone had just walked in right before us, and they took those spots. So, whatever. I looked at the line. I'm like, "We're going to get in. We just won't be with them." And then while we were in line, we heard that the guys were running behind.
Oh.
yeah, they were like 30 minutes late.
Well, they ended up being 30 minutes late. But at that point, it was like maybe 10 to 1. And I messaged, the people I left behind at Sony Square. And I said, "Listen, if you finish up soon, you should make an effort to come down here. The line isn't too crazy. And the guys are running late, so they might just let you in."
Hey.
It all worked out.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And even though they said it was 1 wristband per person, they somehow negotiated 2 wristbands. And were able to get us wristbands, even though we left.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hence, hashtag the Good Karma Crew.
That's awesome.
So they literally rolled up around the same time the guys were showing up, and like got selfies with them in like the entranceway area.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
And then there was no seats left. So they were like, "Oh, they moved them to this upper area." And I was like, "That's weird. I've never seen people seated in like a balcony area for the studio, because it's just, if you see it, it doesn't make sense."
Mm-hmm.
So they just like they said you could come in and you could either sit Indian style on the floor in front of them, or you could just stand behind them. So you see like all these people that stayed behind to get the wristbands behind the guys.
Yeah, because
I saw
Elle was
them,
behind,
yeah.
because I saw her. She was behind.
Elle, Eva, Rachel, like Jessica, all these people, they were just behind them, and then they ended up with these amazing, like they were doing like, I don't know, Facebook or Insta lives. And they ended up with like the guys talking into their like phones towards the end,
cool.
which was amazing. So, yeah. And granted, at this time, it's at the end of this AOL Build interview is only 2:00. And it feels like it's been like 3 days.
Right.
Because, yeah. So, and, yeah. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking.
No, it's great.
It is great.
Well, my plan, I was going to let you know. Well, this is the Jackie show with Maria's commentary. Because she was the one. She was the one that was like coordinating and all this other stuff, and she can actually remember what actually happened. So that's why you probably feel like you're talking a lot, because you kind of are. But because you are the only person out of the people that are in this phone call who remembers and actually can give accurate information.
Okay, if you say so. Yeah, but the AOL Build was great. Like, you know, for the people who got there early, Jenny, Maria, Michelle, Kim, they were like literally right there. Like,
yeah, because Jenny was front row.
Yeah. Katie, Anne Marie. Yeah, there was like Jenny with an I who got to ask a question.
Yes.
Oh, poor girl.
Mm-hmm.
That was so funny.
That was
she's
funny,
here?
because
She's
Dottie was like, "Oh, she's right here."
That's funny.
And I have to say, I mean, I'm a fan of AOL Build. I've gone there for other artists as well besides New Kids. It's just like a nice intimate setting. Yeah, yeah. Well, BBD. I've been there for BBD and this group Johnny Swim I love, and it's just a nice intimate setting, and I feel like the information that they give is always different from what's on the main circuit.
Yeah.
And honestly, my favorite part of that day was not getting to ask them a question on GMA or being moved. It was Jordan's story about, and if you haven't seen it, I'll send you guys the link, Nikki, so you can add it to the episode. The AOL Builds one. Is Jordan telling the story about Donnie and them on the school bus?
Yes, that was awesome.
Like, I feel like that's just a magical story, and it will forever be burned in my brain.
What was the song that he was singing?
Me too. Oh, Monster Man from the Village People.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Which is funny because they came out as the Village People. Wait, did they come out as the Village People on this cruise, or was it a previous cruise?
No, it was this cruise.
Oh, okay. I'm like, it's starting
to mesh together.
Yeah, but I envisioned the young Donnie and Jordan, and just, you know, not knowing what their future was going to be, and, you know, Donnie just kind of being the ringleader of it all, and getting people to do stuff that they normally wouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that story. I'd never heard it before. And I that was my favorite part of
My favorite part of that story was that I was picked as Jordan's focal point during that you know, like when you're doing like some sort of like public speaking or something, they're like, just pick a person to pick a focal point and just talk to it. But, you know, you make eye contact with everything else, but kind of like go back to that point, because that's, if you're like, I don't know, like afraid of public speaking or something like that. So I think, because I was with Kim, and Kim was like, he was totally telling this to you. I was like, it's not just my head. Are you kidding me? But I just think it was like just a focal point that they picked. But in my head, he was telling me the story.
Hey.
Yeah.
Right. Hey.
Yeah, and Danny.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you don't get to see it on the camera, but. Well, one, they were super duper late.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever was supposed to be on AOL Build at 1:30 just totally got washed off the schedule.
Oh no.
Because they did not arrive till like 1:25. And then, you know, the interview went until 2, and in true New Kids fashion, they socialized with the audience after. And AOL Build is not that type of setting. They're like, you can go take your pictures outside. Like, we need to clear the studio and get the next guest in because this is a live show, and we go every half an hour, so don't play games. But the new kids were like, this is our world right now. So like, we're gonna say hi to the fans. We're gonna take pictures. We're gonna do whatever we got to do. So Donnie, Jordan, all them, they came into the audience and were like greeting fans, which was nice.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's when I got stuck in the tree selfie that I'm supposed to be in, but I'm not. Donnie came and he was hugging people as he always does. He just loves his fans. And so Kim was to my right, Michelle was to my left, and Donnie comes over straight on ahead. And he opens his arms like the Snoopy that he is and hugs everyone. But I kind of got like stuck in the middle. And it was weird because I just like my face is to his chest, like, wow. Because I couldn't put my arms around him because we had Michelle and Kim around him. So I was going to be like that Jesus from Brazil.
Oh, wait. So you're in that picture?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. So I put my arm out to like hug him because I was going to put my arms around his waist, and he was just like hugging, like Michelle and Kim from like the neck, like hug, big hug, everybody group hug. But I kind of got like crushed. So I was like, pull away, abort. So Michelle, I think, is taking a selfie, and I'm here, abort. And all I got was my arm in there, and I was like, my arm was literally stuck because that man gives like some hugs. Him and Michelle were like tight. So
I bet she was.
nothing to do except my arm was stuck between Michelle and Donnie. And it was just like standing there like jazz hands. So instead of doing jazz hands, I just like decided to grab his back and just pinch it a couple of times. And they're still taking pictures. I'm like, abort. So I had to slide my hand out between them. That is like the funniest picture. I mean, it's a beautiful picture because you see the three of them on a selfie, and there's a little slight of my arm. I'm telling Michelle, I was like, I was not there. She was like, no, you were. Your arm is... There's a different shade of gray. That's your arm. And I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. I think I see it. It's
She's
like right by her boob.
Gray. That's your... I'm like,
I love the picture.
It's not a shade of your boob or something. Like, it's you. She's like, no, it's you. You're there in the picture. I'm like, okay, well.
Is this on Michelle's page or someone else?
Michelle.
Here, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And I'm just like, it was so funny because it's like, he went to hug. It's like a hug gone wrong. Like my forehead was up to like his chest or his neck or like Adam's apple. It was like, I can't even hug you. So it's just like face so weird. So I was like, okay, well, I'll back up and have you, you guys maybe I could take a picture of you. I don't know what I was thinking. You have to think really fast in like 2.0 seconds or something like that, because that's how it feels longer. And a lot of things can happen in 2 seconds. But it really was just 2 seconds. So
yeah, I don't see Maria on this picture.
No, man.
I don't either.
There's a different shade of gray right under. It's like right by Michelle's boob. That's
Is
different.
that it?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
right
boob.
there.
Yes. No. Yes. It's a different shade of gray. You can tell.
She's like, you're there, and I'm like, okay, really.
Okay.
But it was so funny because that hug was tight. My arm was. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So apparently, he squeezed his back fat, which he has the perfect amount of back fat. Like his BMI is just on point. You're supposed to have a little bit of fat in your body. That's just how you live. And he has the perfect amount. So I squeezed it because I didn't want to squeeze his ass and then like really like I can't get out. So I'm squeezing the man's ass and just looking at him in the face like. So wasn't going to do that. But yeah, that was my story. Oh yeah. And then I don't know if Kim may have mentioned it in her story, but so Kim and I were like looking at the guys, and of course, again, I was telling myself, be chill, Maria, be cool, Maria, be cool. But that didn't really work out. Because again, I decided to do some sort of like sign language love messaging. And so I was okay. Johnny looked at me and I'm like, I love you. And he's like, I love you. You don't see this in the the interview because it's cuts from person to person, and so the angles weren't like there. But and then Joe spaced out for a little bit.
So he sure did.
Did he really?
He spaced out at Kelly and Ryan for a little bit too, it seemed.
It's like when you space out, like when you're like tired, I guess, and you're just looking at something. He's like totally spaced out. He was even leaning a little bit, and Kim was like, "Oh my God, look at Joe. He's spacing out." And so Kim and I were like, "Earth to Joe," and we're signaling to him like, "Earth to Joe." and he got snapped out of it, and he just looked at him and was like, "We love you," and he's like, "Yeah, thank you." So it's like those little moments that make standing in the cold worth it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, even if like, of course, Jordan sees me and he points at me and I'm like, we're getting married. It's those little tiny things that matter to a fan, and they know how to work that. They sure do, because we go time and time again, grown as women, with osteoporosis coming around the corner, and we're jeopardizing our bones on cracks of New York City streets for them. And we'll do it over and over again.
Right, we will.
So, all right. So Kelly and Ryan, museum, strategizing, GMA. I mean, we need walkie-talkies, damn it. Wristband line. We get into, at least me, by the skin of the teeth, get into the AOL build. We paid some good. Oh, you know what? I was hangry at that point, Maria. I was not responding to that text.
Oh yeah, but
there was a security producer guy who looked like Idris. He did kind of look like Idris Elba. But I was like, I just want to be in there with new kids. I don't care about you. So after AOL builds, we all went to get something to eat because we were like, it's been a long day. Yeah, and we had about, they said they're not going to form the line until like 3:00. And I'm like, you know what? We don't need to be there at 3:00.
Right.
Like,
you got wristbands.
We'll get there. Right. We got our wristbands. We'll be there at 4:00. And while I was online, the security guard or somebody said, Joey needs to leave by 5:15 to get to his show. And again, there's been so much misinformation about everything.
Because
and I was like,
there was a lady there, a staff member, the day before, who we took her word solid because she was a veteran. She's been there for all of it, and she's like,
she was the manager.
So she was like, "Don't worry about it. You know, you don't have to be here at the book crack of dawn. There's going to be enough bracelets for you." So we explained to her our plan of the day, and she was like, "Don't even worry about it. Go to AOL build, come back, you'll get your bracelets." She's like, "You're not gonna sell out." Then she was like, so she was like, okay, so they start the thing at 4:00. She's like, it's going to be really fast. Just letting you know they're done by like 5, maybe an hour and a half. They just sign it and it's in and out really quick. So that's why maybe Jackie was thinking, we don't have to be there at 3:00 or at 4:00 because no matter what, they're going to go through the whole line. And even if Joe has to leave, because they were calculating that Joe has a show and he had to maybe like the show what starts at 7 or something. He has to be at 7 or 8 or whatever it is that, No,
so, she said he had to leave by 7.
She said it's going to be an hour and a half or maybe 2 the most, where they take all of these, people just signing stuff and just really quick. So yeah, when we got there, it kind of disappointed at first. They were like, Joe's got to leave at 5:15. And we were like, it's like 5:30. I mean, to 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the line was moving like it wasn't moving.
Ugh.
It wasn't moving. And then at some point they were like, Joe left. And we were like, oh, okay. There we go.
That sucked for people who came from like afar.
Yeah. And okay, so this is where the because so when the line finally opened, the final rule was you could get 1 wristband up to 10, and you can get 10 CDs, and they would all get signed by the guys, even though you have 1 wristband. So, people wanted to get stuff signed as a gift, blah, blah, blah. They started the line. They started that rule. I don't know if anybody consulted the new kids, but if you think about it, if there's really 500 wristbands, and let's say everybody got 10 CDs, oof, how many signatures is that?
That's a lot.
Exactly.
That's carpal tunnel lock.
So they started that, and like, I don't know, halfway, 1/4 of the way through, they were like, oh, hell no. So they had a guy go down the line and say, you're only getting one thing signed, then that's it.
And I saw people get 4 things signed.
Right. So some people, up until a certain point, people were getting everything signed, and then they were like, wait a minute, what did you tell these people in line? And then they switched it up halfway through or a quarter of the way through. So wherever we were in line, it was like, you're only getting one thing signed, and that's it.
Stop being stingy.
And and I had a cocktail with lunch. So I was like, hey, squeeze me. They said, he's like, I know what they said, but this is what it is. And I was just like,
this is what New Kid said, and that's word.
I was mad. And I was like, I feel bad for the people who bought like 10 CDs. So what they did is they said, the store said that they will take back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me interrupt.
Take back all the extra stuff you bought. And and we were like, but you told us to have it unwrapped and ready.
Yeah.
So there's some people who bought like
we unwrapping everything and
yeah,
who's gonna return it? Like I was like, oh my god, thank God.
Open CD. They took them back.
Good.
Wow.
Listen, new kids, if you're listening to this,
listen, Linda.
Brown Sugar and Honey will keep this stuff in order. Just saying. Hire me.
I'm just saying, yeah. Jenny and I and Jackie were thinking, okay.
Don't be trying to come in on my party.
Excuse me, who was walking down the cold ass street down with Jenny? We were planning already. We were like, okay, we need my red Sharpie. Like, who thought of it? They couldn't think of it. New kids can't think of everything. You're gonna put a black marker. You're gonna sign a black signature on top of a black and white album.
Black and white.
No.
Yeah. No.
You need a different color. How about the color that you slightly use in the whole picture there? Red.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on. Let's go. Let's think about this.
Yeah.
It's not the New Kids' fault, and it's not Sony's fault. Somewhere in between, that's why they need us.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're moving on from that.
Yes. Nikki, we're killing Nikki and Brooke right now. They're like, these girls.
No, it's funny.
These girls are out of control. We finally get into the store. Joey is gone. All it took was New Kids music playing in the background and a large video screen of their video playing for us to get warmed up and happy. I know I started singing and dancing. I think Jenny started serenading me at one point. I was like, sing it, girl. Sing it. And then we finally get to the table. And Maria, go.
Well, I was being very considerate of their situation. So I had my album. And I had my red Sharpie ready.
She had the actual LP, the wax.
And so the ladies were like, okay, get your stuff out. I'm like, Pam. And they saw my red Sharpie and they're like, no, you can't. They can't sign with the red marker or whatever. And I was like, well, it's a black album. And they got black Sharpies. It doesn't make any sense. And I was like, it's not a big deal. And she was like, no. And then they were like, go. And some girl took my album and put it in front of Danny or something. And she was like, well, what are you waiting for? Don't you want to say hi? I was like, bitch. Oh, my God. First of all, they were giving me attitude from the get-go. Oh, I was like, all right, we're moving along. I'm going to be a good person. So I go and I talk to each guy. And right before I get to Donnie, and then there was this green scarf girl who was like following her. But anyway, right before I get to Donnie, I go to Jordan because he was next. And I was like, real quick, I was like, Jordan, can you please sign my album with the red marker? And he took it, and then I got, Donnie looked me in the eye through his glasses. I felt mesmerized, and I, was talking to him, and I was like, please take care of yourself, because we had just lost Luke Perry, and I was like, please take care of yourself. Don't stress yourself out. Kind of like get rest.
Yes.
And so I was like really telling him, like, just please take care of yourself. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep tonight or whatever. And I'm like, yes, please. And so then, okay, moving along, the girl was like, and I had given, like I said, Jordan the red Sharpie, and at that time I could hear him saying, she wants it signed in the red Sharpie. Like, what's the big deal? Kind of like, why not sign it? She wants it in a red Sharpie. I'll sign it in a red Sharpie. And so I was like, thank you, Jordan. You're very considerate. I love you. Thank you. And or something like that, right? And then he goes to her, you've gone too far. You've gone too far. He was laughing. He was like, oh man, you've gone too far. I didn't know what that was about. I just know that she might have said something, or because he was like, no, you've gone too far. Like at first he said it like low, like you've gone too far. But then he kind of like, I heard him say like pointing at her, and he's like, you've gone too far, and he's laughing and whatever. And I realized later through like a Instagram live, somebody took what actually happened. I guess I don't know what she said.
She snatched the pen from Jordan's hand. She tried to snatch. Yeah.
She was because I gave him the Sharpie.
Anyway, so, Maria being defiant.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna get my way somehow or other. And so he was like unsnapping it, you know, like Sharpies are kind of difficult and whatever. And she went to like grab it from his hand, and she was actually like pulling it, and he was like, what are you doing? Like, why? And you can see that in the video. Why? Like, he just looked at her like, what are you touching me for? It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he said, like, you've gone too far. Like, don't pull something out of my hand. Don't. You know, he was like,
right.
And then I heard him say, I know her, but.
So because of Maria's red pen fiasco, he was caught in this moment. Yeah, I'm annoyed at you right now.
You should be annoyed with Green Scarf Girl.
Yeah, I'm annoyed with her too. He was so caught up in the moment of whatever was happening that he honestly didn't pay any attention to me. He was talking to the red scarf girl, and he was like, listen, I know her, okay? Like, calm yourself. And he just, signed my thing. And then they were like, go. I'm like, what the hell just happened right now?
It was truly like a relay race. It was just like, go.
It was a relay race, yeah.
Nonsense. I'm like, oh, I look like.
But I also heard him say, I know her, and he also said, if the girl wants it in red marker, then just let her have it in red marker. Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
So that was a heroic moment for him. And I think some other blockheads can relate. Like, I love Maria. That's my girl. And we cruised together how many times? Three times? Roommates?
More than?
Yeah. We've done it 4 times. So we've spent some significant time together, like on a cruise, non-new kid stuff, but this marathon of like going from place to place for the new kids, and once we get there, we're cool. But the in-between, the coldness, the hunger, the sleep deprivation, that's a real test of friendship. And I'm sure there will be a lot of comments on that because Maria was getting the Jackie look sometimes. Like, I'm like, you were my friend, I would kill you. It's a real test of friendship. Like, for real. But it's all for the love of the new kids. And at the end of the day, we love each other and we understand it. But it's a race. It's a race. Just as much as it is a race for them, and they have sleep deprivation, and they're going from place to place. Because we did GMA, we did a wristband line, and we did
but they were up singing and rehearsing.
They were rehearsing at 5. They did a Facebook Live before they even did GMA. They went to the Ryan show. They did another show. Then they went to AOL Build. Who knows what they did after AOL Build? Then they did the signing. Then Donnie's flying off to Chicago to do a poker. What?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That is
like, please take care of yourself.
Yeah. But it's a marathon for them, and it's a marathon for the fans. Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, like I said, they have VIP access, right? So they just go in whatever they need to go.
Right.
But the fans need to line up early
And
to even see if they can get access.
Right.
You know?
Figure the shit out.
Yeah. Like I arrived before Donnie at CMA. You know?
Right.
We were talking.
It's all worth it in the end. It's worth it.
Jack and I was talking about, like, this is not easy being a fan. It's not easy because it's like you have to, first of all, work for the money to get to the things, the events, the shows, concerts, whatever. And then you have to, be vigilant about what's going on to get the tickets and sign up and kind of keep track of that. And then and definitely get up and weather the storms of, oh my God, new kids and their inclement weather.
I was just gonna say, storms is the key word. Like, storms.
Oh my God!
I was
staying for hours.
I was so excited. I'm like, wait a minute, sunshine and 17 degrees, but no rain, no snow. I'm down for that.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah. What? It's a beautiful day. I was like, it's a beautiful morning. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, and then we were talking about how we have to interact with them, and I was having a conversation with somebody else, having this saying the right thing. Like you see, okay, so to be honest, you see other fans who probably have been with the new kids or VIPing since like 1989 or something, or since like the reunion, like every show or something like that. And so of course they're going to get to know these girls, and they're going to start like a friendship or some sort of like, and so you see them and they have like these inside jokes or conversations, and then you're like, wow, I want to have that conversation with them. So you're thinking like, what do I say? How do we just start mid-conversation that's really funny for the both of us, and then for 2 seconds, because then you don't want to, you get pushed out, like the security's like, next, right? But you look like a fool getting pushed out. I feel like a fool getting pushed out. I don't know about you, but I don't like it when people herd me and telling me what to do. So it's like you have to find this conversation, these like 3 words or something within a short period of time that will catch their attention, that nobody's said before, that will be unique, that will be you, because you don't want to be somebody else, that will, and you don't want to piss them off, and the delivery of it has to be perfect because it can really go wrong, as I have done before. And so I was like, man, we saw Donnie and we were like, it's not easy being a fan. Let me tell you this. Not easy. He's like, why?
He was really nice. He said, like, you had a really good run today. Because I guess he remembered, I got to ask a question and he saw me at other stuff. But it was at that moment where I realized, like, oh, my key comment is not I love you anymore. Because that would be, oh, I love you, bye. Oh, I love you, bye. Oh, like,
I can relate.
Now I can actually take a moment and just be mute. Now I don't say I love you. I just sit there and stare like I love, like in my head.
You just say it with your eyes.
Yes. There's no smoothness to me at all.
And then I was telling him, I was like, I told him about my first upgrade. Like, this is going to be my first upgrade in this ever. And I am like, very intimidated or scared shitless is what I said. And I was like, I need advice. I want something that you guys won't laugh at. Like, I don't want to come up at you the wrong way, because I spent a lot of money to have 2 minutes with you guys that can go really wrong.
Right.
And I'm going to feel like a damn fool. And then buyer's remorse, but it's like really large for me. Like, $1,000 for this upgrade and the ticket and the flight and all of this other stuff that goes along with it. It's a lot of money. I don't want those 2 minutes to go wrong.
Right.
And he was just like, just be yourself. Just be yourself. And I was like, no, you don't understand. When I'm myself, I can actually come down, open the door and be like, do some sort of I was telling him about the Joe meet and greet. I was like, I was the last one. I did some stupid dance. He was like, you weren't be yourself. I was like, no, that really is me. You don't get it. That is me. He's like, you were trying too hard. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I got nervous. That's what happened. Yeah, that was that.
Well, you guys had a busy 2 days. That was awesome.
Yeah. We had a busy 2 days. Blessed that we were able to do it. It's always great when you have fun people to do it with, even when
They're
you
cranky.
get a Jackie look. And I wouldn't trade it at all. It was great.
Well, we really appreciate you guys coming on and telling your stories and sharing all the moments with us, because it was like we were there.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for letting us share it.
Yeah.
And, for the people who are not in the vicinity of like New York, LA, the places where they do press, we try to represent you to the best of our ability. And you know what? YOLO. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of times when it helps when you have someone who's like, no, we're gonna do this, even when you're saying no. Whenever you hesitate, take that breath back in and just do it, because you never know what the outcome is going to be. Either you fail, or you
fail
succeed.
together.
Yeah.
Can we have pictures from you guys that we can share on the website?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I took pictures. I don't know about Miss Maria. She's too busy blowing kisses at Jordan.
That landed on Danny.
You know what, Maria? Take a picture of your red marker. That was a triumph.
Oh,
your red marker signature.
Oh, I took a picture of his signature on the vinyl, and I sent it to him, and he saw it.
Oh,
that's
There
exciting.
you go.
and it
was
was different because it was red. So now he is like, oh,
Like, he knows who it is.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
We appreciate
coming
it.
on.
Thank you.
And
Sorry we were
chatting.
so long.
Oh, no, it's great.
no, it is.
It's all Maria's fault.
All right.
Me.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See you later, guys.